Well, today's viewpoint comes to us from an editorial from the Global Times, and it talks about China and Japan and what Chinese people need to do in order to support their government. Now, the editorial goes on to say that the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries and the China-Japan Friendship Association announced yesterday that they were postponing a ceremony marking the 40th anniversary of the normalization of diplomatic ties with Japan. Last Friday night, a number of Japanese policemen landed on the Diaoyu Islands, an action that China has condemned. Now, the writer of this editorial is saying that the Diaoyu Islands dispute is escalating. The current situation has robbed the ceremony of its original meaning. A change in the strategic relationship between the two has been brewing, and the Diaoyu crisis could be the final nail in the coffin for friendly ties between the two countries since the 1970s. Japan has been calling on both sides to show restraint over the issue while escalating it itself. The administration of Yoshihiko Noda wants China to accept what Japan has done and give up its sovereignty claim, which is nothing but an illusion. The editorial goes on to say that it seems that there is no space for China to reason with Japan over the issue, which may end with a confrontation between the two. National strength will eventually solve the issue. China recently sent law enforcement ships to the Diaoyu Islands last week. Such an act should become routine. The range for law enforcement should be extended to waters 12 nautical miles off the islands, thus realizing the legal status of Chinese police. The editorial also says that solving the dispute through peaceful means should not be China's first choice, but it should be prepared for severe friction. It may lead to an overall confrontation between the two countries, and if that happens, China should not step back. The territorial dispute has evolved into a strategic manner, and sentiments involving the islands have accumulated beyond a mere territorial dispute. Now, the editorial does warn the Chinese government to avoid acting rashly. It should also avoid being too hesitant and losing any chance to regain control of the islands. The writer of this editorial says that we must be clear that this will be a long-term struggle, which may lead to sacrifices. We may easily be united in opposing Japan's public opinion, but if some Chinese people suffer economic losses due to less cooperation with Japan, we may have to face internal conflicts. The possibility of a large-scale war between China and Japan due to the confrontation is much smaller than that of a compromise by one side due to internal conflicts caused by economic losses. What determines who will win the long-term struggle is the unity of society. The editorial finishes off by saying that it's vital that each part of society attends to its own duty. China's foreign ministry and law enforcement authorities are leading this struggle, and military forces should be backing them. Even if a military clash occurs, it is key for Chinese society to remain in order and keep running vigorously. So it appears as though the writer of this editorial is calling on Chinese people to stand behind their government, whatever decisions the government might take.